It was a beautiful day. It was warm, the sun was shining.
Judy Castro was an NYPD officer who worked the Lower East Side in Manhattan.
My partner and I, we responded to a call, routine. I was in the front seat, my partner was driving, Officer Castro. There was a plane going very low. All of a sudden, it just hit the building.
On Tuesday, I came in super early.
Nina Pineda was a reporter for ABC's local New York station.
I was at my desk, and I waved to the news director. And a couple minutes later, he looked up at the fixed cameras and said, "There's like a small fire at the top of the World Trade Center." And he goes, "Pineda, go down to Twin Towers and see what's going on."
Regina Wilson was one of only a handful of women firefighters in New York City.
I heard the alarm in our firehouse, and so all of the guys put on their gear, they got on a truck, and they left. I was just so much in awe and watching the television and seeing this disaster, just trying to figure out how the hell are we gonna put this fire out.
When we got down towards downtown and I saw people pointing and looking, and the people in this building happened to have camcorder video, I go, "What did you see? What's going on?" They're like, "A plane hit the North Tower."
Over 14,000 people were at work in the Twin Towers. Police officer Judy Castro, who had just witnessed the plane strike, ran straight into the lobby of the burning North Tower.
We took an oath. To me, this oath is sacred. You're there to help the public, no matter what it is, you're there to help them. So we start moving people, evacuating people.
31-year-old Janelle Guzman had taken a job with the Port Authority located on the 64th floor of the North Tower.
I did not know what was going on. We made a couple phone calls and they told us it's okay to stay.
Meanwhile, on the streets of downtown New York, there is pandemonium and chaos.
I hear another plane, and I happen to look up.
We hear just this giant explosion. Flight 175 going into the South Tower.
Having seen both planes slam into the towers, Judy knew the extent of the inferno on the upper floors.
We're telling the security of that building, you have to evacuate. You just got hit, another plane just hit this building.
As smoke begins to engulf their floor, Janelle and some of her co-workers finally decide to get out of the North Tower.
And we were going down and we were counting each staircase, holding hands. And I think when we made it to the 30-something staircase, there were firefighters coming up. So then I felt good. Okay, they're coming up, we're going down. Well, it's not that, we're gonna make it, it's not that bad.
As Janelle and her colleagues were making their way down the stairs of the North Tower, Nina and her colleagues were continuing to film the unfolding disaster.
And we're watching the second tower. And I said, "What is that, like, flickering thing?" And the cameraman looked through his viewfinder and he looked at me and he was like, "It's neckties. That flickering you're seeing is the people jumping from the towers, holding hands, and it was their neckties flapping in the wind that never made it on the air. For the respect of the families of the victims, we never showed that. But we saw it. It's my job. Those people didn't have a choice. I'm sorry.
That morning, I was rushing.
Marilyn Wells was a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army in September 2001. She had been working at the Pentagon for just over 2 years. At 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 flew into the southwest side of the Pentagon.
I could see under the door frame orange-looking color. So I knew I needed to get out of this room. I knew there were windows on the C-ring in the area where my office was. So that was my first thought. I'm going to that window. And I start crawling. My mind is telling me you're going to be safe when you get to that window. But once you get there, my mind switched immediately that you're going to die right here. You're going to die. We couldn't open the windows. The windows are bomb blast proof.
You can see the two towers, a huge explosion now raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
Judy Castro was in the North Tower lobby evacuating people as the South Tower fell.
The South Tower had fallen on the North Tower, and that's what sealed us in. Put my hands on my head, and I was saying, oh my God, this is it. We're gonna die here. It's like a tomb. We couldn't see, and everything was just quiet.
The sudden and total collapse of the South Tower provoked panic.
I actually see a colleague of mine, Lauren Glassberg, and we just duck below a car. And we stay there when the dust cloud rolls over us from the South Tower collapse.
All of the people were covered in this soot. It was just looked like a snow blizzard.
We've been attacked. It's like World War II.
The mindset of a firefighter, try and find the most people that you can and help the most people that you can and kind of worry about yourself later.
The second building has just come down. The second, everyone's being asked to get down. Come down.
The floor started to move. So we're saying, what's that?
As the North Tower collapsed, Janelle was still inside.
I just kept holding onto the railing, and before I could even stand back up, the rubble, the dust, the darkness, the walls just burst open. Every time I reach that point, it's like everything just...
Because you're thinking everything is okay.
I just felt everything, I just hear the noise so loud. The walls just open up and the dust just come hitting on top of me.
Away from New York City, reports were coming in of another plane hijacking.
United Flight 93, with 37 passengers and 7 crew on board, crashed near Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Passengers and crew stopped the plane from reaching its intended target, the White House, by forcing the plane to crash. Everyone on board died, but no one on the ground was hurt. Back at the Pentagon, ambulances were responding to reports of multiple casualties.
My colonel came forward. And so he and I just kind of locked eyes, and it's like, we're going to die. But we just wouldn't give up. We pounded on the window with our hands and kicked it with our feet, and we kicked the seal of the window, and it popped open, just open enough.
Colleagues outside had formed a human ladder.
And so the people down looked up at us and said, jump, we got you, jump. The hardest thing I ever had to do is when he gave me an order and said, Colonel Wills, you will get out of this window now. And I looked at him, I'm like, sir, I know, I just know there are more people in here. He said, get out of the window now. That's an order. I started thinking about Marion, because Marion was not in my meeting. So I knew she was up there. What I didn't know was that where she sat, I'm sorry, What I didn't know is where she was sitting and where a guy was sitting in my chair. That's where the plane came in.
Back in New York, the collapse of the North Tower has overwhelmed the first responders.
We did the much as we could with our bare hands just to try and dig people out.
Regina was desperate to find John Shapura. He had asked to take her place on ladder 105 that morning.
Everyone in ladder 105 died at the Trade Center. I would have been on ladder 105 on the morning of September 11th. I wasn't able to save anyone.
Janelle lay buried under tons of concrete and rubble at the base of the North Tower.
It was dead silence. And I tried to get up and I realized I couldn't move. I felt the pain. My head was like feeling like it was going to explode. My head got stuck between the concrete pillar and my arms were beneath my stomach and my legs were crisscrossed. And then I came to the realization that I'm gonna die. They're not gonna find me.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.